Big Ten race.
As for Nebraska, the Huskers losers of 7 of their last 8 after starting Big Ten play at 3-0. Injuries have clearly been part of that story.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They've had key injuries to 2 starters and getting both of them back tentatively tonight. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond to this challenge of the Badgers coming in town.
Nebraska does have 2 wins over ranked teams this year. They went on the road and beat Indiana in the conference opener. They beat Purdue here a couple weeks ago. So certainly not in any way out of the realm of possibility for this Nebraska team. The opening tip here is controlled by the Badgers. Bronson Koenig bringing it across.
Wisconsin, people think they still run majority swing offense. And we'll get into some set plays and try to get guys in space one-on-one.
Here's Koenig to Ethan Happ. Now Showalter with a nice catch. Nigel Hayes on the baseline with 6 to shoot. Hayes working on Jacobson. A little long offensive rebound, though. Vito Brown doesn't go. And Jordy Chimanga clears for Nebraska. And here comes Ty Webster.
We're going to have to watch that matchup because it looked like Glenn Watson Jr. slid down on Vito Brown.
Chimanga missing inside the held ball. So right away we have a possession call that goes to Nebraska after the Badgers won the tip.
Jordy Chimanga playing with a lot more confidence, knowing that he's going to get extended minutes with Ed Morrow. Not quite 100%.
Well, Chimanga's been great the last couple of games, really starting to come into his own. Webster misses there, and a foul inside on the Badgers.
Wisconsin foul number 10, Nigel Hayes.
He's going to go on Nigel Hayes. That'll be his first.
You see, Chimanga had a straight line run to the rim, and Nigel Hayes gets that chicken wing out a little bit.
Trouble getting it in here for Nebraska. They finally do to Evan Taylor.
Evan Taylor's been a nice pickup for Nebraska. A little jack of all trades, master of none. But really been a good find for Nebraska.
Here's Chimanga working on Hack. Chimanga across the lane. Did he travel? He did.
Jordy making his mind up and not able to adjust once the pressure came from the weak side.
Getting some instruction there from Tim Miles, 5th-year coach here of the Huskers. As now Koenig being hounded by Webster, and Ty Webster commits a foul.
I understand what Ty's trying to do there, Dave, but you're trying to pressure one of the premier guards in the conference. I've not seen people be able to speed Bronson up for the last 2 years.
Long way from the hoop as well. There's Vito Brown, now Showalter. Here's Hayes. A little late getting there. Now Hayes left it short, tips it back up. And foul on the floor, I believe, going to go on Chimanga.
Nigel Hayes got to the left side, but watch Chimanga. I thought he just kept his ground. Yet he got a call for a foul on that situation.
So Hayes to the free throw line. He has struggled of late. Hayes just 12 of 39 from the field over the last 4 games. Not a great foul shooter at 62%. Tim Miles with a few choice words for the officials as Hayes hits the second one.
Well, we'll see what Nebraska can do to really get some offense going here. Across the floor a couple times.
Chimanga gets the roll, so the first 2 go to the freshman from Montreal.
Like we talked about, playing with a lot more confidence, and that big body. Definitely tough to stop once he gets going.
Here's Happ. Not a threat from there, but he is a threat from here. Happ down and under, blocked from behind, but a foul.
Wow. See right here, that's a clean block. I don't see where the foul is.
That certainly appeared to be. Ethan Happ hits the first free throw. This has been a struggle for him this year, just over 50% from the stripe. You see the exasperation, Tim Miles here. And Happ 1 of 2, but I think there was a lane violation. There was on Nebraska.
Lane violation,
So Ethan Happ will have one more here from the stripe for the Badgers. And with that, we welcome you to Lincoln, Nebraska. Ethan Happ just hitting the second of 2 free throws. Wisconsin yet to convert on a field goal. They have 2 free throws from Happ, 2 from Nigel Hayes. Nebraska has a basket from Jordy Chimanga, and that's been all the scoring. 4-2 in favor of the Badgers here, looking for their 8th straight win, coming in as the 7th-ranked team in the country. This is Zach Showalter, and there is the first Wisconsin field goal.
Great look by Vito Brown. I thought Brown had an advantage in the paint and saw Zach Showalter slide into his vision. Nice setup.
There's Glenn Watson, been a little banged up for Nebraska, so they'll see how he does. They said he practiced well yesterday and felt better today than he did a day ago. Battling a little bit of a groin injury as Evan Taylor hits the pull-up.
Evan Taylor, nice power there. There's a little bump. He was trying to get in position, didn't bother his release.
Here is Happ. Now Bronson Koenig. He's been bothered by a calf injury. Vito Brown for 3. And Brown, who has just 13 points in the last 3 games combined, gets 3 here. There's Webster, and a foul going to go against the Badgers. If it's on Nigel Hayes, which it is, that is his second. So that an issue for Greg Gard. And now a big round of applause here in Lincoln as Ed Morrow, the sophomore from Chicago who has missed the last 7 games with a foot injury, checks into the lineup for the Huskers. They have sorely missed him.
Yeah, great energy guy, likes to put his head in the fray, gets offensive rebounds, puts a lot of pressure on opposing post defenders. So you know he's going to be a little rusty, but the good thing about his game is it's predicated on energy.
Averages double figures. Webster, first 2 for the 3rd leading scorer in the Big Ten, who's been in double figures every game this year. The only conference player who could make that claim.
It's been fun to watch Ty Webster's maturation. Now he's able to pick and choose his spots.
Now Koenig, step back jumper there. First 2 for Bronson Koenig.
Bronson Koenig is looking at referee Bill Eck and asking, like, can I get that call?
Jacobson. Here's Webster. McVay in there as well for the Huskers. Tries to get it into Morrow. And they turned it over. There you get a good look at Ed Morrow, who is our Motel 6 6th man today, and you see why. I mean, Nebraska has struggled mightily without him, winning just once in 7 games. They lost the last game he played as well against Northwestern when he was clearly hobbled. So they've been a different team without him.
And he just gives them that added dimension of having an athletic big to really finish and do that.
A big board there for Morrow, so you see his value already for Nebraska. Here's Jacobson. Now McVay, good outside shooter. That one inside the arc, rims out. Battle for the board, and Showalter comes out of there with it. This is Dimitri Trice, the freshman for the Badgers. Trice through the lane, can't get it to go. Jacobson, nice play to save it into the hands of McVay.
Jacobson did a really good job defensively as well. There seemed to be a little bit of contact, and Trice threw his head back to try to get the attention of the officials, but there was no call there. So Jacobson, good job of challenging without foul.
Webster trying to back his way in, now faces up. Short, and Happ the rebound.
I don't like that decision by Ty Webster. He's got Vito Brown guarding him. Vito's a pretty good defender, but not quick enough to stay in front of Ty if he puts it on the deck.
There's Trice. Now Happ. Iverson. Line drive doesn't go. Tipped up no by Showalter. Great activity for the Badgers, and Vito Brown gets the follow.
Zach Showalter doesn't get enough credit for what he brings to this team. A lot of toughness, very good athlete. He's able to keep that ball alive for one of his teammates. So those little intangibles, some of the things that make Wisconsin the elite team in the Big Ten.
They start on the road here for the Badgers. And Nebraska turns it over again. That is the third turnover for Tim Miles' team. Nebraska down 14-6 early on. It's a 14-6 lead for Wisconsin over the homestanding Huskers. Dave Revs and Stephen Bardo, what has stood out to you about the start here?
The precision of Wisconsin on the road. In the last 4 seasons, Dave, Wisconsin is 3rd in the country in wins away from home, either true road games or neutral court games. And what you're seeing, they've already gotten to the free throw line 4 times. They're 2 of 4 from the 3. So they're taking good shots. They're getting on the offensive glass. And those are recipes for being very sound on the road.
53 of their last 72 they have won away from the Kohl Center. Looking for their 10th conference win here tonight. That would clinch a record 17th straight winning record in Big Ten play. They're currently tied with Purdue at 16 in a row. Purdue set that mark in the 70s and 80s. So could be a historic night here for the Badgers. Foul on the rebound there by Vito Brown.
But just to think of that consistency, Dave, you know, in today's game when you have a lot of change, and right there Vito Brown pushing Jariah Horn underneath the bucket. But when you have that kind of consistency in today's game, that's amazing.
Morrow caught too far down and under. Here comes Wisconsin the other way. Iverson tries to get it into Charlie Thomas. Pass a little too strong, and McVeigh clears it away for Nebraska. Here's Watson.
Something you don't see a lot from Wisconsin, turning the ball over. Well, best in the country at taking care of the rock.
Now Morrow. And he lost it on the way up. So we take a look at our Buffalo Wild Wings on the floor, Stephen.
Well, look right there. Charles Thomas, the 4th, getting some early action, spelling Ethan Happ, because the Badgers got out to a good lead here. So valuable minutes on the bench for one of the best in the Big Ten.
Here's Koenig. Three-pointer by Brown doesn't go, and Morrow collects the rebound.
Defensively, last couple possessions, Nebraska's been pretty good. They just got to find a way to convert.
And Watson does just that. First 2 points for the sophomore from suburban Chicago.
We got to watch Glenn Watson, Jr. He's grimacing a little bit. That hip flexor, he might be feeling it.
Here's Koenig. Now Trice. And Thomas.
He's one of the most explosive players in all of Big Ten right here.
Iverson can't get it to go. And the rebound to McVeigh. Here comes Watson. You're right. He does not have the normal explosiveness that we expect out of him. Morrow coming down with that loose ball. Now Webster. Webster on the baseline. Here's Watson. Now McVeigh for 3. Rims out. And the rebound to Iverson, and he is fouled.
Watson, when he goes left, he's pretty good. When he goes right into this jumper, he's money. Good job creating that space, getting away from the defense and elevating. But you see him right there, grimacing a little bit, trying to work through some issue. We think it could be that hip flexor, but we have to wait, keep an eye on that.
Well, we were talking about it with Tim Miles today. They said they've done everything they can to keep Watson loose. They even have a bike in the locker room so that at halftime he'll be able to ride that exercise bike. As Wisconsin, a rare turnover for them. Here's Horn, offensive foul. So second quick foul on Jariah Horn.
Well, Nebraska getting out quickly and maintaining this 6-point lead. I'm hearing the Big Ten Conference Tournament in Washington, D.C. in the same sentence, but I'm definitely looking forward to it because it's going to be a lot warmer, hopefully, there than it is in Chicago at that same time.
I think a lot of fans, too, that don't normally get the chance to see their alma maters in action are going to be able to do so. Huge East Coast fan bases for so many of these schools. And, of course, the Maryland fans will be well represented as well.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the pull-up by Thomas. Doesn't go. Chimanga battling for the rebound. And there's going to be a foul. It's going to go against Wisconsin. It's going to be on Pritzel. That is the first on Brevin Pritzel.
And Brevin Pritzel had the best rebounding position.
I'm not sure really what he could have done there. And I think that's kind of Greg Gard's point.
Yeah.
In so many words. I mean, he kind of got enveloped. Offensive foul on the Huskers. It's on Webster. That's his second.
See that foul now that Webster had 40 feet away from the bucket early on. Comes back and haunts him a little bit, so now he's going to have to play on his heels and not be so aggressive.
Well, kind of decision time here for Tim Miles as to whether or not he can take his top scorer and one of the top scorers in the league out of this game. Here's Ethan Happ spinning in on Chimanga. Can't get it to go. Tipped up no good. McVay the rebound. Here comes Webster for the Huskers. Webster in the open court, and he carried it. Not an overly popular call.
No, and I thought Bill Eck was right on it. Watch how his hand comes under. Yeah, that's a good call. So Ty Webster frustrated along with his teammates. They just can't get any rhythm right now. They're fortunate that Wisconsin's not shooting the ball lights out either, because this could be easily double digits right now.
Yeah, Wisconsin just 27% from the field, and this is a team that has had all kinds of shooting issues, under 38% the last 3 games. Pritzel, the drought continues for Wisconsin. They have not scored in about 4 minutes. They've missed their last 6 field goal attempts. Here's Horn. Got it. Jariah Horn with his first 3 and the first 3-pointer for the Huskers.
Great recognition by Glenn Watson Jr. Thought he got too deep in the paint, but he was able to find his guy.
Brown wanted a charge on Happ, didn't get the call. Here's Brown spinning in the lane, and Vito Brown has 7.
That's a veteran ball club right there, knowing that he had the mismatch. His teammates got out of the way. He was able to back down and get to where he wanted to on the floor.
McVay. Here's Taylor. And McVay, that's a double dribble. Looks like Isaiah Roby's going to come in here for Nebraska.
A lot of times when teams are struggling at home, they just start to press too much. It seems like Nebraska just not trusting what they're doing on the offensive end. A lot of unforced errors here.
Turnover is a huge issue for the Huskers at this point. Already 8. Just past the halfway point of the first half. Koenig, Happ. In the corner, Showalter. Not there. Great offensive board by Brown, but he gave it away to Chimanga. Here's Watson on the break. Watson trying to weave his way in. And he'll pull it back out.
Isaiah Roby with the basketball is a guy that can give Nebraska a lot of versatility. Confidence just isn't intact yet.
Taylor not there, and back over the backboard, so it will go to Wisconsin.
Tim Miles is trying to find any combination that can get some rhythm for his team. You referenced it, Dave. 8 turnovers against Wisconsin usually leads to you being down double digits.
See the numbers for the Badgers. That's what's kept Nebraska in this game. Good on the defensive end, and Wisconsin not shooting it well at all. Showalter ends that as he hits the jumper. A 3-ball for Showalter, who now has 6.
Ethan Happ starting to make the adjustment. He had his back to the basket when the double team came before. Now he's facing the double team, getting it out quicker. That allows Zach Showalter all day in the corner.
Here's Chimanga, nearly knocked away by Happ, and jammed his finger a bit there. Horn can't hit it, and battle for the loose ball. On the floor, it'll go to the Huskers. Watson's got it for Nebraska. So fresh shot clock.
Isaiah Roby concentrating on the effort plays. The offense will follow.
There's Horn, lost it on the way up. It will stay with Nebraska.
Nebraska fans and Jeriah Horn wanting to foul that time. Steve Junkins is right there, though, along the baseline.
Taylor. Watson trying to get it into Chimanga, and he does. Chimanga working on Happ. Chimanga across the lane, left it short with the lefty hook, and Happ the board.
Happ took a shot there in the chest. It took him a second to gather himself. Jordy Chimanga's bringing some weight.
I think that is fair to say. Chimanga, 275 pounds, colliding there with Happ. Huskers down by 8.
Dave, what they're looking at. I think a lot of times people just take Wisconsin, all they're born, all of this. Look, Ethan Happ is doing something no one else in the country is doing. Bronson Koenig is 7 threes made away from being the program leader in Wisconsin history. And Nigel Hayes is an All-American. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at one of the best teams and programs in college basketball. Savor it while they're here.
Held ball there. It will stay with Wisconsin on the alternate possession with 15 to shoot. Yeah, I mean, that's what's amazing is Koenig, the jumper doesn't go, but it's tipped back up and in by Happ. I mean, Nigel Hayes was the guy getting all the headlines in the preseason All-American. Look, he's had a good year. But, I mean, Happ has just been phenomenal, and he's kind of stolen those headlines away.
He really has, and I think he's a candidate for Player of the Year nationally, not just in the Big Ten. Right. I mean, we got Caleb Swanigan, who's leading the country in double-doubles. I think he had his 21st tonight. So, you know, I want our viewers to understand that they're watching greatness right now in this Wisconsin ball club.
The foul was on Vito Brown, his second. Now Webster inside Jacobson, little turnaround that rims out. Battle for the board, and Roby able to track it down for Nebraska. Good hustle play there, and Webster, that one partially blocked, and Happ's got it for the Badgers.
Players have to get past the referee and play. There's contact. You got to keep going.
Happ can't get it to go. Roby the rebound, and he is fouled by Iverson. First foul on Khalil Iverson.
Tell you what, Isaiah Roby's giving some good minutes to Nebraska off the bench. He's focusing on the defensive effort. Good timing, block, comes up with the ball, is strong enough to maintain possession. Got on the floor earlier to get his team another possession. Isaiah Roby doing some good things here in the first half.
Tim Miles was telling us today, you know, he's a guy who can alter the game with his length defensively, but when you're as good as he was in high school, you think about all the offensive numbers, and he said it really just started to occur to him that, hey, I can make a difference on that end of the court. Needed a little reinforcement, perhaps, from the coaching staff as Jacobson gets his first 2 and pulls Nebraska to within 8. Nigel Hayes back in there for the Badgers.
Nice closeout on Bronson Koenig.
Here's Happ trying to work around Morrow. Now Hayes. Showalter's hit a couple, and there is the defense from Roby. And Roby missed the layup. Knocked out of bounds. It will go to Nebraska.
You know what? He'll get better. But that's one more dribble and a dunk on the head of Zach Showalter. Great job shooting the gap, but watch here, he leaves too early. If he takes one more dribble, power dribble, he can get to the rim a lot easier.
Still, you certainly saw that defensive impact that you're talking about there, Steve. It's just a matter of putting it all together, as it is for so many freshmen. And coming into a league this good. And that ball is kicked by Showalter.
Like Wisconsin going into the zone defense here. Nebraska a different look. First time Nebraska was able to get the ball to Jacobson right at the Big Ten logo. Since then, they've struggled against this zone.
Good turnover, good work by Watson to retain it and hit the 3. Glenn Watson with 5 points. He did not hit a field goal in the game against Iowa. Again, battling that injury. Get a little better here tonight. Nebraska within 5. Hayes. Iverson blocked away, but he's fouled. Tim Miles is furious.
Roby.
Oh, good job by Watson coming up with the loose ball. Howard dribbling to the jumper. That's all ball. That was a block party right there. That ball was blocked twice.
Iverson misses the free throw, just over 56% at the line this year.
Outstanding athlete, great physical tools. The issues, the ball handling and the perimeter scoring, but he's certainly a great athlete.
Well, the thing is, he's in the program that develops that type of skill set, so as long as he continues to work, he's going to be just fine.
Able to track down his own miss there. And so fresh shot clock for Wisconsin. Badgers just 32% from the field. Half caught too far down and under. And Morrow's got it. Here comes Watson for the Huskers, trying to cut into this 5-point deficit. Morrow, reverse.
Well, as poor as Nebraska has been offensively, they find themselves right in this game, Dave.
Iverson trying to answer with the spin move, and he does.
Well, the future of the Big Ten is bright. These young players are something. All across the league, we see dynamic plays like that by underclassmen.
Here's Webster. Goes right around Roby, lays it up, no good. And a foul to be on the floor.
Well, they are, I think they're going to, you tell me, Steve, offensive interference,
yeah,
count the basket.
Yeah, they're going to count the basket. It looked like Iverson got up when the ball was on the rim.
So count the basket for Webster. That is 4 points for him. State Farm halftime report coming up. I call Sean Morris standing by in our Chicago studios. Catch you up on everything going on around the league, including that Purdue win at Indiana. Plus plenty of thoughts on the first half here. Now Koenig. Showalter. Knocked away. Wisconsin will have it with 5 to shoot, Steve.
A great sign for the Huskers when Ed Morrow comes in, gets a beautiful lead pass, is able to finish over the defense.
Across the entire nation in college hoops. Always a fun day.
And we have too much fun in there, actually. I don't want to say it too loudly. But no, that's a great time. And love having Mike on with his wealth of information.
Here's Showalter. Out of the timeout, tipped up and in by Charlie Thomas. So the first 2 for the sophomore from the state of Maryland.
Love that set play with limited time on the shot clock. Zach Showalter turning the corner, brought 3 defenders.
Webster had it knocked away on his way up. And he's fouled, so it's on Showalter. That's the first on Showalter, and Webster going to the free throw line.
Webster does a really good job of knowing when he's got an advantage. Straight line driving and putting his shoulder into his defender to cut them off from getting back in front. He does that as well as anybody in the league.
Webster has really emerged here over the last couple of years. Native of New Zealand. First couple of years here in Lincoln, I really didn't play well and was very highly touted, and had a heart-to-heart chat with Tim Miles. Was pondering leaving and just heading back to New Zealand, and asked Miles, hey, do you believe in me? And Miles said, I think you can be a great player. You put your mind to it and change your game a little bit, and that's what Webster did. And he has really emerged as one of the better players in this league.
He really has. And, you know, he took it more seriously. He changed his diet. He watched more film. And just to settle these young viewers, put the work in, and it'll pay off.
Brevin Pritzel missing, and then a foul on Wisconsin on the rebound. It is on Pritzel, so that is his second.
Well, I like his teammates getting after him here. They're not embarrassing him, but they're letting him know, Bronson and Zach Showalter, hey, trust the system. Pass the rock if you're not open. Don't force anything.
So Ed Morrow, Steve, you were saying kind of surprising to you how much Morrow has played here.
Yeah, because you know he's rusty. You know his timing's off. And he's not necessarily a finesse player. He's more of an energy guy. But I just thought he'd be sucking wind by now.
Travel there on McVay, the 9th turnover for Nebraska, but first in quite some time. And now Morrow does check out. He's practiced just 3 times in the last 10 days. So it's not like he's been going full bore here. And I think that was the challenge of the juggling act for Tim Miles. Vito Brown coming back in for the Badgers.
You know what I think, though? I'm making the mistake of trying to align his youth for what I would be like. Same situation.
Right.
You know, he's young, so they can bounce back a lot easier.
A little different in your late 40s.
Yeah, no doubt.
Here's Koenig. Now Brown working on McVay. Showalter. Brown trying to back his way in. Across the lane, Vito Brown left it short. Chimanga, the rebound momentarily, but Koenig snares it away.
Chimanga's get banged up. I don't know if banged knees on the court on that spill, but he's gutting it out.
Chimanga the rebound off the Koenig miss. And Nebraska could tie things up with a 3.
Chimanga's having problems running.
McVay for 3. Not there. Chimanga the offensive board. Back up with it, no. Chimanga again, no. Tip, no. And Wisconsin gets the rebound in the person of Happ and a foul on Isaiah Roby. So point blank for Tim Miles' team. They had several opportunities, but they come up empty.
You see Chimanga right there. I'm telling you, he's really banged up. He had no way to get any lift. I think he banged knees the last time when he fell, but he gets great position, gets the rebound, but he can't seem to get his balance. And boy, that was a missed opportunity for the Huskers.
Say, Nebraska's been great on the offensive glass, and they've missed 18 shots. They've gotten 10 offensive rebounds against a team that gives up very few opportunities on that end. In fact, they are 8th in the nation in defensive rebound percentage. So that's a credit to the job the Huskers have done, but they've been unable to convert, and that's a big part of the reason why the turnovers have been an issue. Koenig really turned it over himself. Sluggish offensive first half on both sides.
Great job by McVay forcing Happ out of the post area.
Koenig being hounded by Webster, spinning in. Showalter, and they call travel.
Oh, that was a heck of a break for the Huskers. See Roby out of position, leaves his feet. Showalter, veteran. I didn't see the travel.
I don't know. I think he kept that foot down.
I thought he did as well.
You're right. Very fortunate there for Nebraska. And so just under a minute and a half to go in the half. And once again, the Huskers could tie this one up. And Watson is fouled. That's 2 on Zach Showalter. Again, the State Farm halftime report. Mike and Sean standing by in Chicago. So now Watson to the free throw line.
We're seeing the problems that Nebraska can give opponents. The quickness of Watson and Webster. I mean, they constantly put pressure on the opposing team. You're seeing that now with some of the foul trouble that's accumulating with Wisconsin.
Nebraska certainly had its opportunities. Travel on Brown. Uncharacteristic 7th turnover on Wisconsin. They average just over 11 per game as Brown sits down and Koenig comes back in.
Here are the dog days of February, Dave. This is what we're talking about. You're playing a team that they scouted everything you've done. You're tired. Guys are banged up. But you got to find a way to simplify things and stay within your system and trust the system.
Watson inside Morrow. Well off the mark. Here comes Trice for the Badgers. Final minute of the half. Wisconsin just 32% from the field. Same for Nebraska. Sluggish on both ends. Here's Koenig. Shot clock winding toward 10. Now Happ. Cross-court Showalter. He's hit a couple threes already. That one doesn't go. Happ trying to keep it alive. But Horn's got it for Nebraska. And the Huskers can hold for one. And Tim Miles going to take a timeout, set something up. His team down 3 as we wind down. Final 20 seconds of 25-24 at the break as we welcome you back to Lincoln. Dave Remsen, Stephen Barta with you. Steve, it was the first half that saw the two teams combined to shoot 66% from the field. That's 35 for Wisconsin and 31 for Nebraska. Let's be honest, it wasn't pretty.
It wasn't pretty, but this is a rare Big Ten game where both coaches go in halftime and say, guys, you know what? Despite one of our worst first halves, we're both in great shape.
We're very much in this game. Right. Let's look at our Red Lobster halftime highlights.
You know what? Ed Morrow has been missing for the attack from Nebraska. You see how important he is. Doing a good job here in the first half. 6 rebounds, 4 points, giving them that presence on the interior that they missed so desperately while he was injured.
Yeah, Ed Morrow definitely a boost coming off the bench for the Huskers. 4.6 rebounds for them, and he will start the second half on the bench as well, but definitely making an impact in his return after missing 7 games with a foot injury. So the Huskers with a chance to take the lead here. Nebraska has not led in this game. Here's Chimunga. It's digged down by Koenig. Loose ball, and it is controlled by Brown.
Excellent job by Bronson Koenig on the timing of going and digging, helping out Ethan Happ on Chimunga, forcing the turnover.
Nigel Hayes had a quiet first half. Hayes with the turnaround. 4 points for him. He has not really practiced the last couple of days. He has been battling a groin injury. And another guy who's had a problem with the groin, the hip area, Glenn Watson Jr. hitting a pull-up for Nebraska. A lot of injuries this time of year in Big Ten play, and both of these teams have been bothered by it.
Yeah, and even guys that we don't know are injured, there's something going on. Jammed finger, sprained ankle, you know, all kinds of stuff at this juncture of the season.
Now Watson the rebound. Again, a chance for the Huskers to take that elusive first lead. Chimunga down in under, missed the layup, and Happ's got the rebound for Wisconsin. Badgers dodge a bullet there. Here's Happ. In on Chimunga. Koenig for 3. Off the mark. Nice rebound by Watson.
You won't see that too often. When the ball's kicked out to Bronson Koenig, he doesn't convert. Nebraska's got to take advantage while they can.
Now Bronson Koenig just 5 of his last 23 threes. One doesn't go for Webster, and it is going Wisconsin's way, says Bill Eck.
I thought when we saw Watson and Hayes hit their first shots in the second half, I thought we were going to get some flow here, but still, we're stop and start action to begin the second half.
You might not know it from watching them as Happ hits down low and draws the foul. But this Wisconsin team is on pace to be the highest scoring Badger team in 23 years. We just haven't seen a whole lot of evidence of it here early in this one.
Ethan Happ has some of the best footwork of any post player in college basketball. See how quickly he sees the double team coming. Just his feet is able to get past Chimunga.
And Happ misses the free throw. So Ethan Happ stuck out 6 points. Nebraska's done a good job against him.
wearing the cream uniforms. Those are throwback jerseys for Nebraska to the winningest team in school history, 1990-91. They went 26-8. Koenig. That doesn't go. Battle for the board. It comes into the hands of Happ, and he's fouled inside.
Ethan Happ just has a nose for the rock. I mean, Earl Jr. had the rebound, and Happ just kind of waits for him to come down, and comes right to his hands. Excellent recognition by Ethan Happ.
Morrow got called for the foul, which is his first. Now here's Happ. Double teamed. It's Brown.
Commend Nebraska for the most part. They've really done a good job of getting the ball out of Ethan Happ's hands on the post.
Nigel Hayes. Hayes, good spin move. Looked like it may have been partially blocked there by Evan Taylor. Happ able to come up with the loose ball. And we got a foul. And it's going to go against Watson.
Well, Ethan Happ is relentless on the pursuit of the rock. Glenn Watson Jr. didn't like the call, but there's a loose ball in the Big Ten. You got to go get it. He had the advantage. See Ethan Happ tracked it down, didn't give up on the play. May be able to hear some of the Nebraska fans behind us sharing their agreement in the call.
Or disagreement, as the case may be. Here's Koenig. And he rattles home the three. So you were talking about getting Bronson Koenig going. It's his first three-pointer of this game. Now 5 points, his second field goal. And Wisconsin up 6. Watson left it short. Battle for the board. And I believe they're going to get Koenig for a foul inside. That is his first.
Rarely see Watson Jr. leave a shot that short. Maybe misjudged how far he was away from the bucket, but it's the first time I've seen Watson come up with nothing but air.
There's Webster inside Jacobson, and he misses from point-blank range. I'll tell you, Nebraska's had a lot of opportunities here, Stephen, and missed some layups. I don't know whether it's the defense of Wisconsin that's intimidating them a little bit, but Nebraska's certainly had its chances. Showalter. And Watson got him. Number 2 on Glenn Watson.
Well, you can't take everything away when you're playing Wisconsin defensively. They shoot the ball so well from the three, you have to close out so quickly. Showalter knows that. He's able to put the ball on the deck and draw the foul.
Nebraska just 9 of 27 in this game from 2-point range. Brown. Now Showalter back out to Brown. He'll try a three. Rims out. Rebound Taylor.
Taylor getting some work done today, having to guard Nigel Hayes, getting on the glass.
McVeigh. First 3 points for the sharpshooter from Australia. Cuts the lead in half at 32-29. Here's Happ. Now Brown. Koenig. Brown. Did he push off? He did. Offensive foul, Vito Brown. That is his third.
Well, you look at Nebraska and see Vito Brown slip. Jack McVeigh with that much space, he's not going to miss too often.
Then 3 wins in that great season in 2014 where they made it to the NCAA tournament.
So Nebraska does a good job of getting teams in this building and putting them in the pressure cooker. These fans get into it. I said it earlier in the game, Dave, one of the better environments in the Big Ten.
It has been a little flat, though, I have to say, tonight. I just don't think there have been enough offensive fireworks to get them into the game, but their team's certainly very much in it. Down 3 with the ball. Webster. Nice move there by Ty Webster.
Wow. And Ethan Happ and Webster go down really hard. And there's no foul on that.
Webster kind of holding his elbow and grimacing on the defensive end. He's brought his team back to within one. Showalter. Here's Thomas. Nice pass for Hayes. And Nigel Hayes throws it down.
Nigel Hayes taking out a little bit of aggression. Picked up those 2 fouls early in the first half and didn't play a whole lot. Trying to make up for lost time.
6 points for Hayes. Here's Horn. And he lost it. Showalter's got it for the Badgers. So another turnover for Nebraska. That's 13 for the Huskers. Here's Hayes. Trying to back in on McVay. Hayes. Crowd thought he got away with one. There is a whistle. And the foul's going to go against Nebraska. It is on Watson, and that is his third.
Well, it looked like McVay was going to be able to draw the charge there. Watson put his hand in the cookie jar and got caught.
So Hayes to the free throw line, the preseason Conference Player of the Year in the Big Ten, and you do not see that very often on a free throw.
It's been that kind of night, hasn't it?
I mean, that might be a metaphor for the entire evening right there.
I just wanted to ask you think your kids know what a cookie jar is? I have to remember, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think that's very popular.
Yeah. No, I don't think people have cookie jars, which is a shame.
It is.
The cookie jar was one of the great pleasures of my youth.
Oh, no doubt. And you know what? That's how I've learned to follow through on the shot. When you're short, you got to reach up into the cookie jar. That's how you learn to follow through on your jump shot.
See, valuable lessons from highly caloric foods. Let that be a lesson to you youngsters. A foul there, I believe, on Showalter. It is. And that is number 3 on Zach Showalter. And there just isn't much flow to this game, Steve. Can't put my finger on why.
Well, I think it's a lot of turnovers, pretty good defense on both sides.
Yep.
And just a lot of missed shots. You know, we talked about dog days of February.
I actually stole that from you. I just want to make it clear.
What's that?
It was your idea, the dog days of February.
Yeah.
I just stole it.
That's okay.
You know more about basketball than I do, so I thought, well, if Steve said it, it's got to be true.
Well, you know, you can tell by the it's not for lack of effort from either team. It's just guys are worn down, and mentally you got to fight through it.
Here's Webster, and he was fouled on his way to the basket. It's going to go on Iverson. That's the second on Khalil Iverson.
So you don't see Wisconsin foul a lot on defensively, typically. And so that's a feather in the cap of Nebraska being able to continue to put it on the deck, not settle for contested jumpers, but put pressure on the defense.
Yeah, they average the 6th fewest fouls per game of any team in the nation, but here already 4 fouls in the second half. And now an offensive foul on Morrow.
And Tim Miles is telling Jariah Horn, you're in the wrong position. Jariah Horn's man was able to set up and draw the contact. He's supposed to be on the other side of the court. He runs to the ball side. Ed Morrow's supposed to have a free run at the rim. Costly mistake for the freshman.
35-31. Jordan Hill checking in. Number 11 for Wisconsin. Here's Hayes. Trying to work on the freshman Roby, and that will be a goaltend on Morrow. So the basket interference gives the hoop to Nigel Hayes, who now has 9.
I like what Nigel Hayes is doing here in the second half. He is getting into the post. He's getting his back to the basket. He's getting to where he wants to go for his shot opportunity.
Badgers a little bit better here from the field in the second half. Now up to 50% after 35 in the first half. And Morrow had it knocked away on the way up, but he is fouled. It's on Koenig, and that is number 2 on him.
You see Bronson Koenig talking about he got all ball. But you know what? I like the approach. I keep looking at the Wisconsin bench, and they made a decision. They're not going to have any kind of reaction to what the officials are doing today.
Morrow missing the free throw. He is a Husker legacy. His father played on the 1994 National Championship football team. His mom scored over 1,000 points for the Hoops team. Lived in Lincoln for 10 years before his family moved to Chicago, where he played at one of the all-time powerhouse programs, Simeon High School. Rattles the second one home.
Well, imagine having a football father and a basketball mother. You having to live up to those expectations. That's quite a tall task, but he's doing a fabulous job of it.
Oh, he really is. I mean, I don't think you can overstate how big a loss that was for Nebraska, with Morrow being out here these last 7 games. He had some injury problems last year as well. He's been plagued by foot issues early in his career, but loads of talent. There's Hayes, again working on McVay. Significant size advantage for Hayes, wheeling and dealing, and back to the stripe for Nigel Hayes.
Well, he just waited to get McVay off balance, able to draw that contact. He's committed to getting into the post. McVay trying to hold his ground. Tough to stop a guy that good, that close to the rim.
Well, he is savvy, that is for sure. Hayes with 9 points, so trying to get into double figures. 6th all-time leading scorer at Wisconsin, of course, a key member of their 2 Final Four teams. Now 8 points here in the second half after just 2 before the break. Two pretty free throws from Hayes. And now Wisconsin's lead back up to 7. It has been as large as 10 in this game. Webster, great feed, and the jam by Roby.
Wow. I didn't know where he was going with that pass, and all of a sudden Roby shows up at the last second. That might get this crowd into it.
It seems to have done so. Trice, good three-point shooter. Now Koenig. There's Thomas.
Typically see Wisconsin with better floor spacing, but they're struggling right now.
Thomas swatted away. Good plays on both ends from Roby. Shot clock at 2. The air ball and a shot clock violation.
That's 3 blocks on the night for Isaiah Roby. And every time we go somewhere to shoot around, the coaches talk about young guys focusing on the defensive end. Their offense will come. Well, it's starting to come for Isaiah Roby. He's been doing everything. Hustle. He's been on the floor. Block shots, rebounds, deflections. Now his offense is catching up.
Here's Webster. Webster will try a 3. Back rim and out, and guess who? Roby, offensive board. Now Webster. Roby inside Chimanga. Had position on half, couldn't finish. Knocked away by Hayes, and then Hayes got poked in the eye. He kicked the ball. And it's going to be a foul on the Huskers. It goes on Roby. Tim Miles has to like the effort, though. His team down 5.
Welcome back to Lincoln as we have the Motorist Insurance Group drive to the hoop. Here's Isaiah Roby. He's going to loop around, give the ball to Ty Webster, who gets a pick from Jordy Chimanga. And watch Isaiah Roby, no help side on the back. Nice finish, excellent execution. Misdirection action. Isaiah Roby rolls to the hole. No defense on the backside. Great job by Nebraska, and that's our Motorist Insurance Group drive to the hoop.
Roby has really given them a boost. Nebraska trailing in this game by 5 points, but they are +1 in the time that Roby has been on the court. Again, a freshman from Dixon, Illinois, attended Dixon High School, the alma mater of former President Ronald Reagan.
He just made my dad a happy man because he spent all his summers in Dixon, Illinois. We went up there as kids, and his brother, William Bardo, still lives there. So you just made my family's night by mentioning Dixon, Illinois.
Anytime I can make Dr. Bardo happy, I am a happy guy. So my night in turn has been made as well with a little piece of Dixon knowledge that I didn't know would shed such happiness on the world. Jordan Hill called for the foul there. Isaiah Roby really turned around that high school team in Dixon. They were 3-25 his freshman year. How about 76-13 his last three? Here's Chimanga inside. And Chimanga finally hits one at the rim, and he draws the foul.
Great lead pass by Ty Webster. And this time, Chimanga jump stopped, gathered himself, and was able to go up strong through some contact. Watch. Hesitates, pump fake, gets his strength, and goes up strong. Nice job by Jordy Chimanga.
So now Chimanga trying to convert on the three-point play. He has a nice touch at the line. He hits that one. And Chimanga now, his first 3 points, and that pulls Nebraska to within 2. Here's Fritzl. Now Hap splits the defenders, up with the left hand, not there. Brevin Fritzl the rebound, and he will pull it back out.
Fritzl getting good minutes off the bench as well. Nice job on that offensive rebound.
Trice, open three that doesn't go. Rebound, Hap back up, no good. Hayes the follow.
Well, that's a dynamic duel in the post, isn't it? Ethan Hap and Nigel Hayes. Two guys try to block out Hap, and Hayes goes right to the rim.
13 now for Nigel Hayes, all but 2 of them in the first 9.5 minutes here in the second half. McVeigh. Now Webster working on Showalter. Webster able to weave into the lane. Lobs it for Chimanga, and Trice got him.
Well, when you're not shooting the ball well from outside, you can get on the offensive glass. Ethan Hap misses. Nigel Hayes taking it out on the rim. And once again, Fritzl was in on that exchange as well, so his activity similar to Isaiah Roby on the other side.
That's the 8th foul on Wisconsin. In fact, both teams have 8, so they'll be shooting free throws the rest of the way here. Chimanga's hit 2 in a row. As you see Webster taking what we assume will be a brief rest. Evan Taylor back in for Nebraska. Chimanga rattles the second one out, tipped up by Roby, no good. And ball on the floor. And we have a held ball. That's going to go to Wisconsin.
Good hustle that time by both Trice and Chimanga going to the floor.
Well, no one can fault the effort, I'd say, for either team here. I mean, they played really hard. Saw Tim Miles applauding his crew. 41-38. Wisconsin looking for its 8th straight wins, 17th in its last 18 games. Looking to wrap up a winning record in conference play no matter what happens the rest of the way for the 17th straight year. That would be a Big Ten record. Watson knocked away. Here comes Showalter. Showalter's got Trice with him. Leaves it for Hap, who lost it on the way up. Hap gets it back and gets the roll.
Once again, Ethan Hap showing you not having the best offensive night, but it hasn't affected his energy on the offensive glass. See, in a game like this, Glenn Watson Jr., when he gets too deep on the penetration, it's a live ball turnover.
That's McVeigh. Nice move and a good job there of keeping the pivot foot and then taking it in for the layup. So back to a three-point game.
And Jack McVeigh has really been able to put it on the deck a lot more in the last month.
That foul is going to go against Roby as he was trying to defend Hayes, and that is number 4 on Isaiah Roby. He's given them such a good boost here, but he will have to check out, and Jacobson will come in.
He's trying to guard one of the craftier players in college basketball, Nigel Hayes. Nigel, knowing he's a freshman, he's eager to try to stop. Nigel just runs into him and creates the contact. Gives him another opportunity at the free throw line.
Nigel's such a smart and savvy guy, too. Able to seize the advantage. Not just smart, of course, on the basketball court, in the classroom as well. A two-time academic All-Big Ten pick, business major at Wisconsin, and heads to the free throw line here. That's 14 now for Hayes.
And now you're starting to see every time Nebraska makes a run and closes the gap, Wisconsin just makes a subtle adjustment or a play. They're converting at the free throw line. Just figure out how to keep you at bay.
It's been amazing to see. I mean, Nebraska's had so many opportunities here to tie it or take the lead. They've never led in this game, and yet it's been nip and tuck the whole way.
Yeah. Wisconsin, past few games, they seem to be comfortable with this. 5-point win against Indiana. Had a tremendous scare versus Rutgers. Had to go to overtime, but found a way to win.
Here's Webster, and he got it. 3-ball tie Webster. Now in double figures once again. The 24th time this year in 24 games. The only Big Ten player who's been in double figures every single game this season, and the streak continues. Pritzel.
You can see why they're high on this young man. If his hair wasn't different, I'd mistake him sometimes for Zach Showalter in terms of his athleticism and savvy.
And tipped up no good off the miss there. Morrow trying to keep it alive. And it's Wisconsin ball.
They are really letting them play. A lot of physical contact every time the ball gets up on the rim.
Koenig. There's Nigel Hayes. Less than 8 minutes to go here. In Lincoln, 47-43, the first place Badgers. On top. Now a turnover. McVay's got it for Nebraska. Here comes Taylor. Taylor with the pull-up. Rims out. Battle for the board. Morrow's got it. Now a scramble and Pritzel emerges. Body's hitting the deck. Showalter goes down behind the play.
Wisconsin's had a number of strips, and all of a sudden Bronson Koenig is grabbing his hamstring. Have to monitor that.
There's Pritzel. Now Hayes. Nigel Hayes surrounded. Great pass to Pritzel, and he has fouled hard inside. You're right, Steve. I mean, it's been a physical game.
Well, Ty Webster gets those puppies set and keeping his Huskers close.
Great start he has gotten off to at Wisconsin. The fastest to 30 wins for Wisconsin in more than 100 years. Walter Meanwell, who did not just mean well, he did well. He got off to the best start. That was in the early 1910s. He went 30-1. But I'll tell you, Greg Gard, not too far behind, 35-11. Did such a good job, particularly when you consider where they were when he took over for Bo Ryan. I mean, this was a team that really struggled out of the gate a year ago.
Yeah, he righted the ship, made a few adjustments, got guys on the same page, and got some accountability. And they've taken off ever since.
Knocked away. Actually, no, a turnover. I thought it went off of Showalter, but it did not. So another turnover for Nebraska, 18. And that continues to be a real issue here for the Huskers. I mean, they have turned it over, Steve, on 33% of their possessions.
Yeah.
And low possession game as this is, 18 turnovers, a lot.
Yeah, and typically Wisconsin makes you pay for that kind of lackadaisical approach to taking care of the basketball.
Here's Hayes.
Jacobson back in there for the Huskers. Now Koenig. Wow. I mean, you just don't see Bronson Koenig miss like that.
I think his calf is bothering him more than he's letting on.
Webster gets the roll, and he'll go to the line.
Ty Webster is so strong. He does a great job of attacking the point person at the rim. See the kind of Euro step. Starts hard right, comes back left.
Number 15, Isaiah Roby.
Gets his defender off balance. Fritzl missed the foul.
That is his third. And so now Webster looking to add to his 13 points. And he got it. That's 14 now for the Big Ten's third leading scorer. And again, Nebraska within one possession, down by 3.
Even in that string of losses without Ed Morrill, Nebraska would put themselves in good position to compete down the stretch. Just haven't been able to close games out.
Fritzl, good outside shooter, but he left that one short. Watson collecting the rebound for the Huskers. Here's Webster. He thought about it. Now Webster in around Showalter. And Showalter got him on the floor. That's 4 fouls on Zach Showalter.
So indication of how difficult it is to contain these guards. We talked about it at the Open. Ben Watson Jr. is not 100%, but he's still quick. And Ty Webster, his first step is one of the better ones in the conference.
And Webster misses the first free throw. He is one of just 3 power conference players in the nation, averaging better than 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Markelle Fultz and Dennis Smith, the other 2, and those guys probably going to be top 3 draft picks in the NBA. I mean, that's some really good company to be with.
It is, and I tell you what, it's going to garner Ty Webster to look at the next level.
Two-point game. Double team. Patrick trying to dribble his way out of it. Now Hayes, still 10 seconds to shoot for Wisconsin. Nigel Hayes lost it in the lane. Jacobson's got it. And a foul.
I tip my hat to Nebraska tonight, Dave. I mean, they are scrambling defensively. They have a game plan to get the ball out of Ethan Happ's hands. That time, Nigel Hayes, uncharacteristically, a little bit out of control. And then compounds the play by fouling. But Nebraska, they have been scrambling so well out of the double team.
So now Jacobson, 64% free throw shooter. He hits that one. We've been talking about the various bumps and bruises on both sides. Jacobson has been battling a sore foot. This is the second one, and loose ball. Pritzl's got it, and Fritzl, I believe, called the timeout. He did. Good heads-up play there by Brevin Fritzl. So 49-48, Nebraska still can't get over that hump. Down 1 against the Badgers. Back at Pinnacle Bank Arena, 49-48. Wisconsin up a single point on Nebraska. The Badgers first place in the Big Ten, 9-1, 20-3 overall. Nebraska comes in at 10-13, 4-7 in the league, but they have given the Badgers everything they can handle here, Steve.
As they have, and similar to some of the other games that we've seen in this building, Nebraska has no quit in them.
Down toward the 5-minute mark. That's significant for Wisconsin. You saw not only have they not lost a game this year when leading or tied at that mark, they haven't lost one at all under Greg Gard, but you know what? They're trailing for the first time all night. How about Mike Riley, Nebraska football coach on hand? We hit the 5-minute mark with Wisconsin down a point. Being surrounded. Now gets it to Fritzl.
Britzel had it blocked. Britzel tries to get it back on the floor. Watson. He's got it. And now a held ball. And it will go to Nebraska.
Held ball. Ball to the Huskers.
But just yet another example of both teams leaving it all out on the court. But Isaiah Roby gets the deflection, pushes it out front. Is able to finish away from the defense. Good block by Jacobson. So this Nebraska defense is stiffening at the right time.
50-49. Huskers bring it across with their first lead of the game. Webster spinning in. He knew Showalter had 4 fouls, not a whole lot he could do. And then a foul on Half on the rebound.
Ethan Happ looking at official Bill Eck and shaking his head, but I mean that's pretty obvious.
Michael Jacobson shooting 2.
So now Jacobson 2 shots. Both teams, as you can see, in the double bonus. And Jacobson hits the free throw. 4 points for him.
Happ goes out and don't expect him to be out too much longer. Edo Brown coming in who had a pretty good first half.
Jacobson hits them both. Nebraska looking for its 3rd win over a ranked team this year. They are perfect against ranked Big Ten opponents. Here's Trice. Now Brown. Shot clock under 10. Brown tries to force it inside. And a foul on Nebraska. It is on Roby, and he is done. Isaiah Roby has fouled out of this game, but his team up 3, final 4 minutes. The bench right now for Wisconsin.
Well, again, I can't say enough about this Nebraska defense taking the ball out of Ethan Happ's hands and making someone else from Wisconsin beat them. They put themselves yet again in great position.
So now Zach Showalter, the senior, former walk-on from Germantown, Wisconsin. And he hits the first free throw. He's nearly 82% on the year. Really good defender, but we've seen his offensive game improve significantly during his time in Madison. He rolls the second one home as well. So now 8 points for him. Wisconsin within 1.
This is where the Badger defense typically tightens up.
Webster not there. Webster's own rebound, but he gave it to Hayes. Nigel Hayes deliberately bringing it across. So now a chance to retake the lead for the Badgers, who have led for more than 33 minutes in this one.
And watch Wisconsin. They will get the shot they want in each possession moving forward.
Wow, great job there by Koenig. Now 7 points, and the Badgers back out on top.
That's the difference between elite teams and good teams. The elite teams know where the ball needs to go at this juncture of the game.
Watson. Watson weaving through, and Watson earns his way to the free throw line.
Foul number 0, Richard Trice, his 2nd personal foul.
Foul is on Trice. That's number 2 on him.
Once again, Nebraska getting to the free throw line via the bounce. Rick Guard talked about the difficulty containing these guards. Everyone in the league has difficulty containing them because they're the highest scoring duo in the Big Ten.
That's 8 points now for Watson. Out of that outstanding St. Joe's program, West Suburban Chicago, playing for Gene Pingatore. Anyone who's seen Hoops Dreams is certainly familiar with him.
State championship team Watson was. 53-53, final 3 minutes. Koenig going for the screen from Hayes. Nigel didn't get there in time. Now Koenig. Here's Vito Brown. Here's Hayes. Hayes with 5 to shoot. 3-ball Showalter. Wow, was that well done.
Best floor spacing all night out of the double team. Good job by Nigel Hayes facing up the defense, getting it out quickly so the ball could rotate.
7th double figure of the game of the year now for Showalter. Offensive rebound, Jacobson, but the Huskers turn it over yet again. 20 turnovers now for Nebraska.
And Bronson Koenig is an underrated defender. Got his hands in on the ball.
And a 10-second violation on Koenig, who just wasn't paying attention and didn't get the ball across. I mean, that is as rare a mental lapse as you will see from Bronson Koenig. Nebraska, we talked about the 2 wins already over ranked Big Ten opponents. Indiana on the road, Purdue here. And I'll tell you, for Wisconsin, too, I mean, they've separated themselves a little bit from the pack here, Steve, with just the 1 loss. Remember, Purdue won tonight. They're 2 games back in the loss column. They got Maryland in that hunt as well. Wisconsin doesn't want to give any ground here in the conference race. Webster, way off the mark. Trice the rebound.
See the difference between Wisconsin and Nebraska? Wisconsin, besides that Bronson Koenig turnover, they're getting quality looks. Nebraska's shooting early in the possession. That didn't seem like the shot that Tim Miles wanted coming out of the timeout.
Here's Hayes, now Trice. Hayes reposting. Hayes on the way, not there. Morrow the rebound. Here's Webster. And now Watson.
Oh, my goodness. What a screen there.
Watson with the floater doesn't go, but he's fouled.
Ed Morrow set one of the hardest screens I've seen this season right there. Almost bent Showalter back. Watson living in that paint area in the second half.
And Watson hits the free throw. 9 points now for him. And second one good as well. So Watson into double figures. And Wisconsin's lead down to 1. They have won 25 straight against unranked opponents. But getting a huge challenge here. We'll see how they respond. Koenig, not there. Rebound, McVeigh.
Well, Bronson elevated with confidence on that one. Just didn't get it to fall.
Now can Nebraska figure out a way? Under a minute to go.
Got to get something going to the rim.
That's what Webster's trying to do. Webster inside Morrow, put it on the deck, and now he's tied up. And a held ball that goes to the Badgers. So Morrow brought the ball down low, and he paid for it.
Mitra Trice stuck his head right into the mix right here. Comes down, rakes, grabs arm and leg and everything else he could. Causes a tie-up.
21 turnovers. They've turned it over on 32% of their possessions. That's just staggeringly high.
It is. And to be in this position, so Nebraska
Absolutely, yeah.
doing great things, but they're hurting themselves by those unforced turnovers.
Pressure here from the Huskers. And Trice will bring it across.
If you're Nebraska, you have to switch everything defensively, regardless of the action by Wisconsin.
And Nigel Hayes calls timeout, so Greg Gard wants to draw something up. His team up just 1. Less than 30 seconds to go from Lincoln.
He's on the floor. to run some misdirection, high ball screen, or you can get Nigel Hayes under 10 seconds isolated on one post, on one side of the post area.
Ethan Happ is not in the ball game right now for Wisconsin. Koenig. Here's Showalter. 7 to shoot. Here is Hayes. Nigel spinning. Rolls in. What a shot by Nigel Hayes. So now it's a three-point game. And the Huskers will call a timeout.
Well, that's a strong play by Nigel Hayes. Got in, got a little bit of a fade, and got a nice roll on the rim.
And so now Ethan Happ is going to check in. I mean, do you think it's the free throw struggles that kept him out there?
I totally do. And see right here, Nebraska tried to double team Nigel Hayes earlier in the game. He's so quick. Look how he spins right there. McVay's trying to come over and double team. It's just too late.
There you see the reaction from Ethan Happ. That's really something. Okay, so what's the strategy here? Now, just over 11 seconds. Too early, obviously, for Wisconsin to foul. From Nebraska's point of view, are you a believer and you go for a 3 here, or do you go for a 2 and try to extend the game?
I go for a 2 and try to extend the game. They haven't been able to keep Watson or Webster out of the paint all night long. You might get an old school and one situation if you can do that.
At what point do you foul for Wisconsin? Or don't you?
If you haven't practiced it, I would not foul. You've got to practice that before you get into a game situation.
Watson. Now Taylor back to Watson. Watson with 4. Watson with 3. Jacobson, step back 3. Got it! Got it! Jacobson hit it with a 1/10 of a second to go.
What a shot by Jacobson. Great job by the big man, spacing out, recognizing that Glenn Watson Jr. was double teamed. He's able to kick it to Michael Jacobson. Boy, they look really bad in this situation. Jacobson steps back, nice arc, and he reaches to the cookie jar and gets nothing but cotton. Excellent recognition by Jacobson. Going to the basket, steps back. And boy, did they get a break when they needed it.
And look at Mike Riley. Oh, yeah. The Hail Mary has been answered. And we are almost certainly headed to overtime here, barring something absolutely crazy. And we've seen some crazy stuff. The VCU game, for instance, comes to mind.
Yep. But with .3, it's a catch and tip situation.
Nebraska not going to guard the ball. Again, Wisconsin would have to tip it up here. Cannot catch and shoot in 0.3 of a second.
Only a tip at the brim.
And Wisconsin not going to risk turning it over, and so we go to overtime. The Badgers have been great in overtime situations. They have won 7 straight, including 2 this season. Already alluded to one of them, that game at Madison Square Garden against Rutgers. (58-58). As we look back on the Huskers' most recent game against a ranked opponent, number 20 Purdue, coming back from 9 down to win it by 3. Jariah Horn with 16. Can they replicate the magic here tonight? 83-80 was the final, and that one a much lower scoring affair here. 58-58, and we head into overtime.
Well, you referenced it, how good Wisconsin is in overtime. Won 7 straight and won 10 of their last 11. So, this is a team that doesn't get flustered in these situations. No one on Wisconsin really outside of Showalter in foul trouble either, but Wisconsin did a really good job of double teaming Watson, making him give it up. And I'm not sure Michael Jacobson could do that 8 out of 10 times to give the opportunity, but when he needed the most, he was able to come through.
You want to talk about an unlikely guy to hit that three. Jacobson has three-point range. It's not that it's not part of his arsenal. He's just not generally all that successful. He's 3 of 21 on the year before that one, so 4 of 22, but it's number 4 that people will remember. So now into the overtime, and Wisconsin gets the tip.
Remember, a valuable member for Nebraska's fouled out. Isaiah Roby
goes to the hook, tip top, nearly in by the Huskers, but Nebraska able to clear it. Yeah, Roby is out of this game. You mentioned 4 fouls for Showalter for Wisconsin. Webster off glass, nicely done. 17 points for Webster.
Tell you, his ability to break the D down off the bounce and get you something where there appears to be nothing. What a weapon.
There's Hayes working on Jacobson. Fritzl. Now the corner jumper, good. And a foul. So Showalter hits the 3, and he will go to the stripe.
Oh, you see right there, Glenn Watson Jr. trying to close out too fast. Showalter sells it very well. Nothing but cotton. Guys just have people that make plays, man. Talking about Showalter, Vito Brown, Nigel Hayes, Ethan Happ, Bronson Koenig. I mean, the list goes on and on.
So a critical mistake there by the Huskers. The 4-point play, and now it's 62-60. It's got very quiet in here. Webster. Now Jacobson. Watson with the shot clock under 10. Here's Jacobson. Back to Watson. 3-ball on the way. And Glenn Watson now with 13.
That was great patience that time between Jacobson and Watson.
Koenig strong to the hoop, and he draws the foul.
Bronson has turned the corner. That's the 3rd time we've seen that. Good job by Nebraska, the give and go there. A brush screen by Jacobson, giving Watson enough space to get that 3 off.
As Koenig hits the free throw, 8 points now for the senior Bronson Koenig. This one to give Wisconsin the lead back, and he does.
Saw Glenn Watson Jr. do the majority of the scoring. I expect Webster to go.
And Webster lost it out of bounds, but it will stay with Nebraska. Huskers 21 turnovers in regulation. They have yet to turn it over here in the overtime. Every possession critical here. Here's Morrow inside. Hayes comes over, ties him up, and held ball, but it stays with Nebraska.
Great help side defense that time by Nigel Hayes. And then Happ able to tie him up. Knowing where that play was going, Hayes shows up right in time to build a wall.
Shot clock at 12. Now Webster trying to initiate some offense. Webster, here's Jacobson. With 2 to shoot, Jacobson, got it again! Michael Jacobson. His second huge shot tonight. And Nebraska back up one. Koenig in on Morrow. Missed it. Tipped up, no. Haps got it. Now he's tied up. And another held ball, and this one goes to Wisconsin.
Dave, I tell you what, I'm jealous because I would love to play in a game like this. They're letting him play. Jacobson all of a sudden has supreme confidence, has hit 2 huge shots.
Now here's Happ. Fritzl for 3. Not there. Rebound Jacobson.
Well, shot selection is critical at this juncture, needless to say.
Webster content to take some time off the clock, at least temporarily. The clock is now live for Nebraska. Webster, 3 ball, not there. Rebound tipped out. Good alertness by McVeigh, and a fresh 30 for Nebraska.
Isaiah Roby, Jack McVeigh, Jacobson, Morrow doing a really good job of fighting to get extra opportunities for the Huskers.
Nebraska has missed 35 shots. They have 20 offensive rebounds. Watson got it. A 3-point lead as Mike Riley shows his appreciation. .30 to go. Koenig. Oh, he banks it home.
Oh, my goodness. I had a double overtime game last night. I got an overtime game tonight. Neither one of these teams want to give an inch.
And now Fritzl commits the foul. I mean, Bronson Cato, he is Mr. Clutch. And we've been talking about this for a while. Last couple of years, 54% from 3 in the last 5 minutes in overtime, but most of them look more conventional than this one.
You know what, though? What I like about it, he knew exactly where he wanted to get on the floor. He elevated with some confidence, and he'll take it along with his team.
Ty Webster going to the free throw.
And looking for a flagrant foul. So you take a look. No, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. That's a clean play. There's contact. He gets the ball. And what happens is Ty Webster sells it well. Makes it look like he was hit throwing his head back, but that's a clean, it's a common foul.
And I believe that is the conclusion that they have reached as well, the officiating crew.
Nebraska is charged with the timeout. That leaves them with 1 timeout.
And so by requesting that be checked out and nothing coming of it, Tim Miles does lose a timeout there. For what that's worth, still has 1 left and get another one if we go into another overtime. And Webster hits the free throw. 18 points for Ty Webster. 12 of them in the second half and overtime.
He's been playing downhill all second half, meaning been on the attack, not settling contested jump shots.
Webster calmly sinking them both. So 69-67. Back to a 2-point edge for Nebraska. We've had 5 ties, 7 lead changes, but Wisconsin controlled almost the entire way. Here's Hayes. Hayes working on Jacobson. Hayes caught down and under. And out of bounds to Wisconsin.
We're going to go to the monitor here.
Right. I think the question is whether or not that may have deflected off Koenig. Or I guess initially whether Nebraska hit it at all. Kind of 2 issues at play here.
Yeah, a lot of times you can watch and see if the ball's rotation changes. That would indicate a fingertip or something, but that shot, I couldn't really tell.
Let's look here. I don't know.
I mean, it's close to both of their hands.
Yeah, I mean, Koenig certainly reacted as if it had gone off of Nebraska.
Looks like it. Yeah, it looks like it. It's so tough to tell.
The question is whether the rotation changed there when it hit Koenig again. I mean, I think there's kind of two issues here, Steve. Does the pass deflect at all off of Webster? And if it does it hit Koenig after that?
Typically, when you see official review like this and they're taking a while, a lot of times they change the call. From what I've seen this season. Oh, wow. I mean,
it is really hard to tell.
It sure is.
Now, I have to say, we're looking at about a 14-inch monitor here. And I know most people at home have their 50-inch TVs, so yeah, you may have a better view of it than we do, frankly, and better than the officials. I mean,
yes.
Truth be told.
Yeah.
Look, that's the limitation of technology. You're not going to have the 50-inch monitor here. Just not sure there's enough to reverse it, but who knows, Steve?
Yeah.
This might be one of those where whatever was called on the floor just remains the call, and that is the case. So Wisconsin ball down 2. Badgers have struggled offensively all night. 36% from the field for Greg Gard's team.
Wisconsin is excellent on inbounds plays. They look for quick hitters. The inbounder can get the ball back. Nebraska's got to be careful here.
All right, so here's Koenig, 10 to shoot. Works around the screen from Hatt. Koenig, pull up, off glass, no good. And the rebound control by Morrow, and he is fouled.
Zach Showalter is saying to Bronson Koenig, go to the rim. So there must have been an opening as he came off of that high pick. But I think Bronson Koenig is banged up. He's trying not to show it, but he is not himself. Oh, he's had that calf situation, but even watch him jog over to Greg Gard. His gait is just got a little hitch in his giddy up.
So Ed Morrow, you see the numbers, 59% on the year. He will be shooting 2, and that one well off the mark. Again, Morrow's missed the last 7 games with a foot injury. He has played 25 minutes in this one. Tension continues to mount here in Lincoln. Morrow missed them both and half the rebound. So no damage there from the Badgers' point of view. Nigel Hayes backing in. Jacobson does a great job defensively. Koenig nearly lost it. And a timeout.
Oh, swarming defense that time by Nebraska. And they read the scouting report on what Nigel Hayes likes to do. He wants to come back over that left shoulder. They were sitting there right on that, forced him to give it up. So pretty good possession thus far defensively for Nebraska. Now watch Hayes. He wants to come back and he wants to go back, but Jacobson did a great job of sitting on that shoulder.
Let me ask you this. Do you expect to see Happ in the lineup here?
No. No, he's too easy of a target to foul. I know he wants to be in there.
Yeah. No, he's going to the bench.
In the summertime, he can work on that.
Right.
That's his only weakness that I've seen in his game. But with Vito Brown in the game now, and you get Nigel on the block, Vito can space the floor on the weak side.
And again, you're talking about one of the best players in America, and you can't play him here. Koenig, 8 seconds. Hayes for 3. Got it! Nigel Hayes!
Hayes is calm, cool, and collected as he was at the beginning of the game.
Plenty of time for Nebraska, and they will take their final timeout. I mean, for all of the offensive ugliness in this game, Stephen, we have seen some guys make some big shots here down the stretch.
No doubt about it. In the regulation and in overtime, they're putting the ball in the hands of their best players. Bronson Koenig has hit a big 3, and now Nigel Hayes. Bronson Koenig doing a really good job of drawing both defenders and giving Hayes enough space to get that 3 off.
You see the reaction on the Badger bench. And so now, obviously, we'd expect Hap to come back into the game. What do you do here for Tim Miles?
Plenty of time, plenty of options. So you're only down 1. So that leaves the drive to the rim that can soften up the defense and look opposite. Or you can put it up on the glass. And Ed Morrow and Michael Jacobson have had a lot of success there tonight on the offensive rebounding tip.
Now, you were talking about Jacobson and his confidence. I mean, look, I understand Webster and Watson are going to be your first options here, but if it ends up in Jacobson's hands, there are worse scenarios for Nebraska.
And don't forget McVeigh got the ability to shoot the 3 as well.
Just falling down there, Webster able to get it to McVeigh. 10 seconds to go in the game. Webster through the lane, knocked away by Hap. What a great play by Hap, and a timeout. Ethan Hap, one of the best defenders in the country, showing you why.
Wow, what a play and retained possession. Great job by Ethan Hap. You know, getting in and out of the game. He times it beautifully. No foul whatsoever, and retains possession.
Wow. I mean, the combination there of the defensive effort and then the heads-up play by Hap, man, you just can't say enough.
I know that some of the Nebraska bench looking for a travel call after Ethan Hap got the ball, but I thought he was able to grab the ball, call timeout before he stumbled backwards. So great individual effort by one of the best players in the conference. You know, and he didn't get upset that he's not on the floor. He understands why on the offensive end. Came in and possibly made the defensive play of the night.
So now Hap the trigger man here. They're able to get it into Hayes. And Nigel Hayes is fouled. All things considered, I mean, that's not a terrible situation for Nebraska in terms of who goes to the free throw line, although Hayes came up with a clutch shot just a moment ago, but not a great foul shooter. The issue is just the time for Tim Miles, only 2.2 seconds, even if Hayes were to miss. Again, the big show coming up next with complete post-game reaction here from Lincoln. It has been a thriller. The 7th-ranked team here in the nation taken to the limit by the Huskers. Here's Hayes. Missed the free throw. The door still ajar for Nebraska.
And Nebraska, like all teams in the Big Ten, they work on this situation. No timeouts, 2 to 3 seconds left. They have a play in mind that they're going to run, make or miss.
There's Hayes with the second one. And it doesn't go. Jacobson got it. Oh, it's knocked away by Hap, and that'll do it. So Ethan Hap with a second straight huge defensive play, and Wisconsin comes into Lincoln and somehow manages to survive as they win their 3rd overtime game of the year, their 8th straight in overtime, going back 4 seasons. And they make it 26 straight wins against unranked opponents.
Wisconsin now 10-1 in the Big Ten. Their 17th straight winning record in conference play has been secured. That is an all-time record. And Ethan Happ, fittingly, coming up with the play that seals it for the Badgers off the 2 missed free throws by Nigel Hayes, the guy who hit the go-ahead 3. Happ with the back tap. And Nebraska, a valiant effort, falling short 70-69. The